And now the news for Thursday, September 1st, sponsored by Vaughn's Funeral Home of Boerne, which is a family-owned business and has been serving the families in and around Boerne since 1992. Their phones are personally answered 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Well, folks, it's that time of year when the county overseers have to put pencil to paper and determine just what it is going to cost to keep the county running in the black for 2017 fiscal year. If you're interested in getting more details and have a voice in the process, you'll want to arrange to be at a public meeting this evening at 6:30 at the county courthouse. There will be another meeting set for September 12th, and once the final budget is approved and the tax rates are approved, they will take effect October 1st. With the growth we've seen in the county, it is understandable that there will be increases in capital expenditures to address needs in additional sheriff's department vehicles, for road and bridge vehicles and equipment, for new EMS facility and additional crew and vehicles. There are many other considerations, and Commissioner Lux assures us that they have been very careful in consideration of all expenditures. If you are interested and available for another meeting this evening, there will be a public forum held from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Patrick Heath Public Library at 451 North Main Street. This forum will be held to discuss the new City Hall plans and project overall. Council members will hold another workshop to discuss the designs on Tuesday, September 13th at 4:30 p.m. at the Police and Municipal Court Complex, Council Chambers at 124 Old San Antonio Road. Well, this is the day the fair begins, so if you've been looking for a fun, free party, then this evening should have you smiling big. The gates to the fair open at 5 p.m., and the opening night, family night, is free of any gate admission fee for all to attend. The carnival will be in full swing, and there will be live music to enjoy, so make your plans to attend, as it is certain to be a good time for all. The fair continues on Friday, and the price of admission is $10 for adults, and children 12 and under are free. The admission on Saturday is the same, and the events for Saturday begin with the rodeo parade down Main Street, starting at 10 a.m. The Kendall County Fair is always held on Labor Day weekend, and perhaps a brief history lesson will help us understand what Labor Day is actually all about. Labor Day, an annual celebration of workers and their achievements, originated during one of American labor history's most dismal chapters. In the late 1800s, at the height of the Industrial Revolution in the United States, the average American worked 12-hour days, 7 days a week, in order to eke out a basic living. Despite restrictions in some states, children as young as 5 or 6 toiled in the mills, factories, and mines across the country, earning a fraction of their adult counterparts' wages. People of all ages, particularly the very poor and recent immigrants, often faced extremely unsafe work conditions with insufficient access to fresh air, sanitary facilities, and work breaks. As manufacturing increasingly supplanted agriculture as the wellspring of American employment, labor unions, which had first appeared in the late 18th century, grew more prominent and vocal. They began organizing strikes and rallies to protest poor conditions and compel employers to renegotiate hours and pay. Many of these events turned violent during this period, including the infamous Haymarket Riot of 1886, in which several Chicago policemen and workers were killed. Others gave rise to long-standing traditions. On September 5, 1882, 10,000 workers took unpaid time off to march from City Hall to Union Square in New York City, holding the first Labor Day parade in U.S. history. The idea of a workingmen's holiday, celebrated on the first Monday in September, caught on in other industrial centers across the country, and many states passed legislation recognizing it. Congress would not legalize the holiday until 12 years later, when a watershed moment in American labor history brought workers' rights squarely into the public's view. On May 11th, 1894, employees of the Pullman Palace Car Company in Chicago went on strike to protest wage cuts and the firing of union representatives. On June 26, the American Railroad Union, led by Eugene V. Debs, called for a boycott of all Pullman railway cars, crippling railroad traffic nationwide. To break the strike, the federal government dispatched troops to Chicago, unleashing a wave of riots that resulted in the deaths of more than a dozen workers. In the wake of this massive unrest, and in an attempt to repair ties with American workers, Congress passed an act making Labor Day a legal holiday in the District of Columbia and the territories. Many credit Peter J. McGuire, co-founder of the American Federation of Labor, while others have suggested that Matthew McGuire, a secretary of the Central Labor Union, first proposed the holiday. Labor Day is still celebrated in cities and towns across the United States with parades, picnics, barbecues, fireworks displays, and other public gatherings. Whatever your own personal holiday celebration brings, we at KBRN hope you have an enjoyable holiday weekend and celebration. Well, that's the news, and I'm Tom Allred reporting. Now we'll get you back to the hits of the 50s and 60s on 1500 KBRN in Boerne, Texas.